All right, so I've talked about the no self, anatman, and shunya, emptiness, void, in the last lecture. And I suppose there are a few more concepts that are developed by Gautama Siddhartha, the Buddha, out of the Brahmanical tradition that he is innovating, that need to be talked about here. What are some of these concepts? Well, probably the first concept that I would bring up with this is a concept of what's called the skandhas. The skandhas. Now, the skandhas, literally skanda in Sanskrit, it means aggregate, or it also means shoulder, like your shoulder. It's the place where things sort of combine and come together. But it's used as a metaphor here, not just for shoulders or for aggregation, but for personhood. Because you see, when you ask this question, well, if I am not a true self, and if I am not a soul, what am I? You are a combination of aggregates. What makes you you is that you are a collection of parts that have come together at this particular sense, skandhas. And a way to think about this, again, I made a little reference to this earlier, is to think about the way in which a rope is made. How is it that a rope is made? A rope is made by each of these cords wrapping against each other, and by virtue of the way in which they wrap against one another, creating a certain kind of tension in which they hold a certain orientation, a disposition, a weight, a way in which they are, right? A way in which they hold together in a certain sense. Well, you are this combination. You are a combination of these parts. You are the skandha, this aggregate in each and every instant that you are. You are an aggregate of your body, of your perceptions, of your sensations, of your thoughts, and of your principle of consciousness. You are all of these things at once in each and every instance. You are the wrapping of all of these together from one moment to the next moment to the next moment to the next moment to the next moment. You are these skanda, or aggregates. First term. Second, you might wonder what it is then that makes you you. You might say, well, okay, maybe I am just this collection of aggregates. Maybe everybody is this collection of aggregates at each and every moment. But they do seem distinct. They do seem special. Seth, you seem like Seth. I seem like me. Obama seems like Obama. Everybody seems like everybody. How is it that everybody has all of these distinctions? How is it that everybody has this uniqueness, this individuality, this dignity? Don't people have dignity in Buddhism? Absolutely they have dignity. But what you have to understand is the nature of this dignity is not quite the same as what we're used to thinking about it. This dignity doesn't come from the fact that people have some kind of eternal soul that keeps going on, because there is no such thing as eternal. Everything is perpetually shifting, disappearing every moment within Buddhism. So there is no eternal soul. And you don't have what you have with Brahmanical thought, where everything is an expression of Atman, of this absolute totality. You don't have that. What do you have? What you have is, and this is the next term I want to introduce to you, Dharma. Dharma. Now, I talked to you a little bit about Dharma back with the Brahmanical stuff, with this term, the Purusharthas. You remember Kama, Artha, Dharma, Moksha, right? I told you about that. Okay. Well, Dharma in that context, in the Brahmanical context, it meant law, duty, moral worth, things like that. It means that here too, but it means a lot more with the Buddhist thought, because what it has to do with is the law or the duty of the reality of the situation such as it is. So think about these skandhas, right? Each of these parts, in the instant that it is, just tied together exactly as it is, with this particular tension, with the particular nature, with the particular qualities that it has, right? Okay, you got that. That particular way, that instant in which it is what it is what makes you you. And what's what makes you uniquely you, right? It's what makes me right here. This guy talking to you on the screen, immediately me. This body, this mind, this experience. All of that is all these parts coming together exactly as they are. And this right here, this is the Dharma that is Seth. And just right now, you sitting on that screen right over there that I'm looking at and that you're thinking about, that's thinking about these things, that is the Dharma, that is you. Every single instant is the Dharma of the thing, such as it is in Buddhism. When Buddhists talk about the Dharma of this, the Dharma of you, the Dharma of law, the Dharma of anything, and they'll talk about the Dharma of anything, this is what they mean, philosophically, this is what they mean. That the parts come together in the instant that it does to allow it to be such as it is, and to regard it such as it is, with its nature, with its relationship, with its connection, with everything else. This is what it needs to be. Right? Dharma. So we have Skanda, we have Dharma. Another term I want to get across to you. Samskara. Not samsara, but samskara, with a K in there. Now samskara this is another tricky word. This means predisposition. And the importance of this with regard to Buddhism is that insofar as we are this instant, this combination of these parts, right, of these skandhas coming together with the Dharma that they are, right, there is this basic way in which this will be predisposed to become something else. So something, insofar as it is what it is predisposed by its orientation, by the particular combination that it is, to become something else. It's pretty easy to see this sort of in a practical sense. You can see this when you look at the practical way in which if you are upset and you get cut off in traffic, you are predisposed to flip the guy off. Whereas if you're calm and relaxed and just sort of ready to deal with whatever, you get cut off in traffic, you're predisposed to just go, wow, that guy looks like he's really in a rush. Must be an important thing. You're predisposed to do any of these things. You're predisposed to yell at someone when they yell at you, or you're predisposed to be calm. You're predisposed to understand. You're predisposed to not understand. To be frustrated, to be inquisitive, or to be receptive, or to be whatever. You are predisposed in each and every instant that you are by virtue of the Dharma that you are. Right? This predisposition, this is called Samskara. It is a predisposition that comes from the Skanda, from the particular instant that you are, from one instant to the next. And each of these instants, with the Dharma that they have, generates its own Samskara, predisposition for being. All right, say a little bit more in a little bit.